Chika ossai-ugbah believes that there is more to life than what you can see or prove by science. He is a pastor, an author, adaptive leadership teacher, and coaches people in life mastery and spiritual intelligence.
Wow, it's so nice to have you on our channel today, where we talk about spiritual intelligence and issues of emotional mastery. Now, if you've not subscribed to my channel, do that immediately. Press the red subscription button. Turn on the notification bell too, so that you are notified immediately I upload a new video. Today, I'll be talking about emotional baggages, the sources, the science, and also the solution. So, sit tight, fasten your seatbelt, and let's take off. Ooh. It was 4 months into our marriage. Last Friday of April, 1997, my wife and I had a heated argument over something. And in the course of the argument, something happened that changed my life. I noticed terror on her face when she screamed, "You won't slap me?" I never realized that my hand was raised. I was actually about to slap her. Consciousness dawned on me immediately. I walked away from that place, locked myself up in our visitor's room, and began to cry. What happened was mind-blowing. How did I reach that point where I felt threatened and was about to slap her? It goes back to my primary school days. In my primary school days, I was haunted, taunted, and humiliated by girls because I couldn't fight. My mom had given me a stern warning never to fight in school or beat up anyone. Since I knew the consequence, I endured it. There were these 2 girls, Anna and Mary. You see, I can still recall their names. Over 45 years now. But the memory is still fresh. Who had that habit of taunting me? So I endured this humiliation. On a certain day, I went out to buy pap for my mom. And while coming back, here were these 2 girls with their brother, and they decided to fight me. For once, I made up my mind then, fight I will, and we fought. So the next day in school, she began to tell the whole class that she beat me up the previous evening. And you know what that could be in the primary school? There were these sounds of woo, 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 woo. I was ashamed. And for the first time, I fought in class. That was primary 5. And my class teacher, who had hated me, took sides and punished me. But that day, I made up my mind that never again in life will any girl humiliate me. That began the mindset of seeing women as evil and bad with their antics. That showed up many years later in my relationship with my wife. And someone will ask, after 9 years of friendship with her, how is it that it never showed up? It never showed up within those 9 years because there was nothing that threatened me. But when threat came, what happened in my primary school showed up. I was carrying a baggage which I never dropped. And I feel there are several who are like me, carrying baggages, emotional baggages, and are not aware of those baggages. Even when they are aware of these baggages, they don't know the damages it may be doing to their relationship. So, what are emotional baggages? These are feelings of hurt from your past. They are painful memories and even unresolved issues from your past. Unresolved in the sense that you have not taken time to accept that you were hurt. And you were not just only hurt. You took a decision that shaped your life forever. How do these emotional baggages come about in our lives? One cause of emotional baggage, one source of emotional baggage, is either a loss or trauma that you have felt or experienced in your life. A loss of someone close to your heart. Loss of something that you cherish so much in your life. Trauma of rape, false accusation. Trauma, disoriented relationship. Trauma of a dangerous relationship you fell into. Trauma of something you failed to do that resulted evil, and you've lived with it. 30th September 2017, my dad got involved in a fatal motor accident that nearly claimed his life. He was picked up for dead from the gutter. Unconscious for about 3 days, and finally took him to hospital. He's still managing to walk today after 3 years. But you see, that event left me with so much pain. So much pain in the sense that I felt if I had followed through on my decision to give him a car, that wouldn't have happened. That was a decision I had made in myself. But that was a decision I broke and never followed through. And I kept being haunted by that if I had, if I had, if I had, if I had, this would not have occurred. Trauma, loss is capable of leaving you with such emotions that make you carry a baggage into your life. Another source of an emotional baggage is a dysfunctional family. What do I mean by a dysfunctional family? A family where things are never organized. A family where things are in disarray. Look, families shape our identity. Whatever we go through in our family imprint our lives and who we become. Children who grow up from loving families grow up to demonstrate love and accept love. Children who grew up from families where giving and accepting love was difficult live their lives that way. Children who grew up in families where they saw their parents fighting and it was the norm, the normal, grow up to see domestic violence as their new norm. Therefore, dysfunctional families have a way of imprinting our lives with such baggages that imprint our future. And possibly you grew up in one of such homes where things never worked. Things were always disoriented and never in order. And disorder became your order. Disorder became your norm. And growing up that way, coming to a home now where things appear to be organized becomes your own disorganization. Dysfunctional homes. This is a reason married families are having issues, because backgrounds and upbringing often clash at a point where orientation and disorientation collide and is followed by calamitous consequences. Do you see yourself within such pictures of having to go through such homes or such pains? Another source of our emotional baggages are people's stories. And what do I mean by people's stories? You've heard stories of what people went through. And these are not cock and bull stories. They may be your friends, family friends, colleagues who narrate their experiences. Experiences in the hands of husbands. I mean, wife battering husbands. Husbands who turn their wives into punching bags. I mean, husbands who punish their wives financially. And you made a decision that, no, I will never allow that to happen to me. Unconsciously and unwittingly, you build a shield and a defense mechanism against your husband. And it wouldn't manifest during your relationships, possibly, as fiancé and fiancée, until a husband and wife relationship legally takes place. But people's stories, you've bought into them as true because you saw it. You witnessed it. You saw the evidence of what happened to those people. And you said, look, guy, I will never allow my wife to treat me this way. That may be the reason you've turned your wife into a slave. That may be the reason you don't allow her to have a say in any matter in your home, possibly because your mother dominated your father. And you've told yourself, I will be the man in my home. I will be the man. If the woman doesn't like it that way, let her quit. It may be vice versa. Your father so dominated your mother that your mother was just a slave. And you made up your mind, no man will ever treat me that way. I won't take what my mother took from my father. And you've decided to stand up for yourself and stand up to your husband. But your husband is not your father. Your husband is not even your brother, if that's what your brother did or is doing. Your husband is not even your colleague, if that's what your colleague is doing to his wife. People's stories have a way of turning us into who we are, especially when we develop emotional connections with those stories and with the people who are involved in the story. Is that a part of your life? Or have you noticed yourself caught in between such stories with a decision that may be affecting your relationship currently? Another source of our emotional baggage is a belief system. What do I mean by a belief system? A way of thinking. A way of thinking. Something you have come to accept in your mind that, look, it may be so. A belief system in the sense that you went through something and you developed a mindset towards something. A belief system that is so dangerous, it can wipe away everything that you have been trying to build in your relationship. why these causes may be there. Several times, we are not aware that we are even carrying these baggages. I am very sure you have noticed the heaviness of the baggage that you carry. Drop that baggage today, because you don't need it for your next life. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Turn on the notification bell too, so that you are notified once I upload a new video. It's been so nice allowing me to speak to your heart. Thank you for this privilege. Until I come your way again, stay safe and drop that baggage. God bless you.